Hey, you beautiful beings. Welcome to Empowered Human with Nina Garcia. I am your host, and you are listening to the throwback episodes. Yeah, I have officially taken a pause on creating new episodes for the podcast so that I can focus on writing the book. It became very clear that while I have loved doing the podcast, I'm getting these episodes out every week to you all piecemeal. I was like, no more, no more. You all were like, please, please, can you get us all those skills and tools, Nina, in one area so that we can do the empowered human journey, so that we can really see what it's like from start to finish, to which I say, yes, absolutely. Let me get this to you. Yes. So what you're going to be hearing is this. You're going to be hearing throwback episodes from all 6 seasons, okay? It's not going to be every episode, so don't freak out on me yet. But it is going to be some of the episodes that were highlighted, that were popular, that we think, maybe you all missed and we want to bring it back. You're going to be hearing throwback episodes, and I am going to be listening along with you. I too want to hear about the journey and experience the journey that I had as we moved from Triggered Can We Play With That, the original podcast, all the way to Empowered Human with Nina Garcia. So you're going to hear personal stories. You're going to hear interviews. You're going to be given skills in every episode. Yes, you're going to be given tools in every episode for you to become skilled in. It is totally up to you whether you want to listen. If it's not the episode for you, skip to the next week, right? You just take what works for you, leave what doesn't. And if there's some stuff you're curious about, why don't you just go ahead and put that on the shelf? The podcast has always been about putting resources in the hands of people without needing to pay for it, right? And so this is no different. Even with these throwback episodes, what you're going to hear is this. We're going through, just as I said, you're going to still hear me talk at the beginning of each episode, letting you know, hey, we've had a transition. You're going to hear the original intro to the episode. You're going to hear the show music, and then you're going to hear the full original episode. This could mean that dates are off, that times are off, that people are talked about, that may no longer be in our lives, right? Just be aware of that. At the very end of the episode, you're going to see this face again come back to remind you that it was a throwback episode and to maybe offer you some adventure challenges as you move from week to week, right? Though the format of the episode did change over the years that we've done this podcast, the value is still there. So if you like something, definitely hit me up on Instagram at DramaTherapistNina and be like, Nina, I love that throwback episode about XYZ thing. Yes, fill in the blank with that. Let me know. And if there's something that you're looking for in the meantime, also hit me up on Instagram at DramaTherapistNina and let me know. Otherwise, stay curious and enjoy the ride, folks. I'll be right along there with you. Welcome to Empowered Human, the dramatically playful podcast that invites you to heal humanity, the one within you, me, and the world at large. I'm your host, drama therapist, empowerment specialist, and not to mention empowered human, Nina Garcia. And I'm so stoked you're joining me on the journey. Every Wednesday, you are invited to explore transforming from powered to empowered with genuinely human stories of courageous existence, healing from invalidation, and truly belonging to you. So wherever you are on the spectrum, from empowerment curious to empowered human ambassador, this podcast is designed to humanize. Get ready to lean into your edge, heal your worldview, and finally belong to you. This is Empowered Human. How many times have you or someone you know been triggered when you realize that you didn't get the job that you wanted? You didn't get the relationship that you wanted. You didn't get the fill in the blank that you wanted. And then you sit there and you think, why does this happen to me? Why can't I get this? Why can't I do this? Why can't I succeed in the way that ABC people do, right? Why am I failing at this? Why don't things line up for me? And so these are the thoughts and feelings that begin to happen. But then when somebody else comes into your life and they ask you something like,
hey, whatever happened to that job that you said you were really excited about? Or, hey, why haven't you guys started a family yet? Or, hey, why aren't you dating more people? Or, right? I mean, y'all, you and me know. I could go on and on about all of the things that people will say to us that end up triggering those narratives, which essentially at the core say, I am a failure. I can't do it. I don't measure up. And so when we talk about what's the trigger here, that is the trigger. It's those beliefs and ideas in you that for some reason manifested themselves, right? And they say that you're not enough, that you're doing something wrong, as if you are not actually enough, as if you are something wrong, instead of doing something that might just be quote unquote off. It might be quote unquote out of alignment. And so the tool that I want to offer you by the end of today's episode is an alignment tool. It's the principle of alignment. It's something I work with my clients for, and I want to offer it to you here for free. A lot of people talk about manifesting, vibing, and how you have to get your energy into the right vibration to really manifest what it is you want. I mean, right? And for some people, it is incredible because it works. It's this really intangible way of going about it. But because these people have this gift of self-attunement, right, this skill that's been offered to them, they can do that, right? It can be intangible. If you're not one of those people, and you don't know how to listen in, what if I could give you a skill to practice that self-attunement and aligning today?
Quick break for a sec. If Empowered Human is offering you something valuable about courage, healing, belonging, or love at your core, you may want to work with me. In particular, if you know of or identify as a high achieving man, and I say this quite seriously because if you don't, I'm going to drive you up a friggin' wall. High achiever that has leveled up in every arena except your relationship with yourself or your relationships with others. Visit empoweredhuman.love for more on how you can level up in your relationships with one of our Empowered Human intensives. Intensives understand the value of your time. Of the 3 that I offer, Walk into Courage covers a month's worth of weekly sessions in just 2 hours. Dive into Courage is a 3-day intensive that can cover up to 6 months worth of sessions. And Ascend into Courage is a year-long program to give you the skills and the network you need to level up for lifelong emotional security. When it comes to leveling up in your relationships, I got you. Head to empoweredhuman.love for more, but for now, back to the episode.
Let's take a breath. Story time. Okay. So once upon a time, as we are exploring empowering alignment, once upon a time, I was a baby drama therapist. Yes, I'd come out of graduate school, and like most of us who are trying to discover their footing in the world of career or job, right? Even if you're 15 listening to this, trying to discover, like, how do you get out there, right? That's where I was. I knew what I wanted to do with drama therapy. I had an idea. I got this job at this, prestigious organization, and I was on the floor doing drama therapy in groups. The head of the organization was super supportive, and I was like, yes, this is so in alignment. I know that I want to explore drama therapy. I know that I want to find my footing. I'm working in the health field, right? The mental health and wellness field. I've got this great organization on board, this awesome director who's totally about creative arts therapy. Yes, 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 right? I was like, I'm slaying it, right? I'm so in alignment. And so I was doing groups, I was given individual sessions to help as an interventionist, and all of this was within my scope of practice, right? Basically, I share that port to say it was something I knew and something I was capable of sharing, right? You too have gifts and things that you know and that you are capable of sharing because you are your own unique human, okay? But back to the story for now. So here I am, rocking it, living my best life until dun, 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 dun. The director is going to leave. They're stepping down. They're leaving the state, in fact, right? We have a new director coming in. And this new director, right, I'm thinking, I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep growing, right? We'll filter them in and things will be fantastic. Things were not fantastic. Unfortunately, at the point when I'm trying to grow, trying to continue to stay aligned, right, and moving forward and resonating out, this new director has no experience or very little experience with creative arts therapy and begins exhibiting signs, symptoms, right, behaviors that suggest I'm not to be trusted and that my tools are not to be trusted immediately. There wasn't any conversation with me or anything like that. It was just, oh, she's not a primary therapist. She's just supposed to be running the group. Okay, well, we're just going to limit her. And immediately I felt that limitation. All of my individual sessions were taken away. Okay. And I want to make this really clear. What that means is opportunities for me to grow were being taken away. And a ceiling was being put down so that I could not continue to grow. Now, this is a problem, yeah? This is a problem if we are trying to grow and live our best life when somebody else comes in and says, oh, I'm sorry, did you want to keep growing? I don't really understand you or what it is you do, so I'm just going to put a cap on that until I have time to really think about what it is you add to our organization. Okay, so it was a problem. I recognized it, I saw it, and I thought, you know what? Things feel off right now. I'm being limited. It's obvious, but you know what? I'm going to give myself the opportunity to realign. Yeah? Things in my environment have shifted. That means I need some time and space and opportunity to shift some other things so that I can realign, get back to growing and doing what I'm going to do. Yeah? Challenges are going to present themselves in our lives. We can only control what we can control. And I could not control what was going on with this director. I could, however, offer my skills, offer my conversational ability, offer my right tools. Everything that I had, I could offer was me. So I set about offering me. And it's not working. It was not working. I was sort of being rebuffed and pushed off to the side. And then one day, as I'm working downstairs with the team, a team member doesn't come in. And so we're really backed up. And I'm thinking, what's going on here? What's going on here? Where's the bigger team members, right? Where's our director? Where's everyone else? And so I run up the stairs, right? I'm running up the stairs to try to discover where the rest of my team is. As I'm sure many of you have had this opportunity where you really need support from the people who are above you, and they're just not there, right? So I set about to find them, and I find them all upstairs in a room, laughing, having conversation, just relaxing, right? At least from my experience, right? I'm like, what are they doing? So they're all up there talking. And I say, we really need support downstairs, right? And we really need support right now. And what's happened? Somebody didn't come in, and they all get really silent. And they think, it's like obvious they don't want to tell me, right? That they likely fired someone and that's why this person isn't coming in. That was the feeling I got. It was never explicitly said. Instead, what I got was, oh, it'll be okay. You'll be fine. Just rebuffed again, right? Like totally invalidated. And so as I'm standing there trying to get support for all of the staff who are downstairs while all of these staff above us are here, I think, oh my gosh, this moment is so out of alignment. I'm trying to ask for support. I'm seeking support and I'm not getting it. And so I move to exit, and one of the heads here begins to say something akin to, oh, and that also means that the group later needs to be covered. So Nina, I'm going to ask you to cover it. And I say, I have other duties during this time. I've already met my group quota for the week. Is there any way that you all can cover it so that I can do the other things that I'm supposed to do? Otherwise, I'm going to be significantly backed up. And the response that I got back at first was, oh, I guess we can, if you can't, well, And so I hold my boundary, y'all. I was really proud of myself. I hold my boundary and I say, thank you, for understanding. I have a lot of other duties, and that really was, somebody else's position, and I would be overextended, right? And so again, here I am, they give me this offering for support more. And I say, I already needed more support. You couldn't give it to me. I don't think I can overextend. And so I walk away. I don't get maybe 30 feet outside of that room. And one of the directors comes over to me and says, "You know what, Nina, actually, I'm going to ask you to run that group." And I look at them and I say, "Seriously?" And she looks back at me and she says, yeah, I am. I am going to ask you to run that group. I said, even after, right, and I'm even keel here, but I'm really making a point to share back what just happened. I say, you're going to ask me to run this group even after I've come to you and told you we need more support downstairs. Even after you've said we can handle it still. It's invalidated my request for support. Even after you've asked me to do even more for you, and you're not doing anything right now, but you would like me to continue to overextend myself and run yet one more thing. You want me to take on one more responsibility onto my plate after I've already told you I need more support today. That's what you're asking me to do. And she pauses for a second and she goes, yeah, that is what I'm asking you to do. Right? With total calm, cool confidence collected on her end. Now I'm going to pause the story here. Because at this point, for a lot of us, this would, if any of the other moments weren't triggering, this would have been the moment where I would have hauled off and said, WTF, are you not seeing me as a human being who's already said I'm overextended, I'm already asking for support for me and multiple other team members, right? 100%, I would have flipped my scheisse, yeah? Okay. But I'm going to pause the story here before I tell you what ended up happening, because I want to know if you are clear on why this is so important. Why is alignment important? Why do we not want to be triggered around this? What's the benefit? This, my friend, this episode is for all the times you have felt like something was off in your life, like something was just not working out for you. When you sat there and you asked yourself, is this me or is it them? I want to teach you the principle of alignment, a principle that I offer to my clients and that I live through in my own life. That's what I want to offer you today, because I guarantee if you have not felt like something in your life is off previously, I congratulate you. My hat is off to you. What a privilege. But for most of us human beings out there, we're just not going to feel that way. At some point, something in your life is going to be off. And I want to know, can we play with that? Let's review. What's the problem here, okay? Explicitly in the example I just gave, it's obvious things are not working out for Nina in this story, right? And maybe in your own life, it's obvious things are not working out, right? Now, explicitly, that's obvious. Implicitly, what's happening under the radar is we might start to believe that things aren't working out, that things are off because we're not working out, because we're not worth having things working out. And then it becomes not about, this one time, this one moment, this one blip in our life. It begins to become the kind of belief that could lead to you blowing up on someone else because they're asking, hey, what's going on in your life, right? Seemingly inconsequential is pushing on that trigger button that says, I'm a failure. I'm not worth having things working out. And every time you ask me about what's going on in my life, I feel the intense offness about it. I feel that, right? The weight of that. And if you're not blowing up on somebody else, why are you constantly asking about my life? Why can't you just mind your own business? Why are you, right? If you're not blowing up on somebody else for that, you're blowing up internally, convinced that you're not good enough. And so what ends up happening when we internally implode? We hold ourselves back. We limit ourselves because what happens if we dare to risk to be something more? That's the danger zone, right? It just solidifies that we are a failure. And of course, that's not true. Oh, my friends, of course that is not true. I don't care how many things have been off in your life or things have not worked out for you. I want to offer you this principle because the good news is you can have control over what you can control. But you have to know that you do have the power to have control over things, more things than you may be giving yourself credit for, my friend. So that's the good news. And the great news is that even if you are out of alignment, and you may well be out of alignment right now as you listen to this episode, I can almost guarantee that you have some degree of control over what you can do to realign today. And so, here's the part of the episode where I invite both you and I to disrupt this unhelpful narrative that we are failures, that we are what's wrong in our life, and flip the script. Remember, this is for all the human beings out there who recognize that something is in fact off. First off, my hat is off to you for recognizing. A lot of people will just continue to move on with doubt. They won't pay attention to it. They'll just move it along. But you can recognize that something is off, that you're unhappy with something, and that you do in fact want to get into alignment, that you do in fact want things to start going your way. Well, let's flip the script. Empower yourself to embrace the principle of alignment. And here's what that principle essentially is. If you can imagine that you are at the center of your world, and when you are at the center of your world grounded, then things ripple out from you. It resonates from you. The best fitting jobs, the best fitting relationships, the best fitting events, the best fitting fill in the blank, right? Your best life is possible when you are at the center of your world, right? This is the principle of alignment. If you're at the center, things will resonate out from what is at the center, okay? If you are not at the center, principle of alignment, things resonate out from what is at the center. So here's what I mean by that. If you have money at the center of your world, things are going to resonate out from the need to have that money. Not from you, not from the things you want to do with that money, just from the money, the getting of that money. That's where things will resonate out from. And things may feel off in your life. People may wonder why you're always worried about money. Why can't you just enjoy life? That's because you are not at the center of your world. Money is. The getting of money is. And so things ripple out from that. It's the principle of alignment. Okay? Let's say you are like, I really want to work out, but I'm not. I wish that I was a person who could move my body and just like get out and work out, but I'm just not. I'm not that person. Are you not that person? Or is there something else at the center of your world? If you say, I really want to be able to do that, but I can't work out 5 days a week, then is that your idea that you should work out 5 days a week? Is that your idea at the center of your world? Or was that someone else's idea that's sitting at the center of your world? Did someone else say, for example, your doctor, oh, you should be working out for 5 days a week. That's what I'm telling you. You should be doing 100%, right? It's a wonderful offering from the doctor. I'm sure that they genuinely believe it is in your best benefit, right? That is your best interest. However, if that's what's at the center of your world, it's not your idea, it's theirs. Until you are able to own that idea and embrace it as your own, as your truth, not the doctor, what the doctor told you truth, right? Your truth, then it will continue to ripple out from somebody else's truth at the center of your world. This is the principle of alignment. Whatever is at the center of your world, that is where it's going to ripple out to. So when things are off, oh, my friend, it is because your values, your beliefs, your truths are not at the center of your world. And so they cannot ripple out and resonate back to you because they're rippling out from something else. They will ripple back, resonate back right to that thing, not to you necessarily. You will feel that it is off. So if we go back to my story, you might remember I was staring at an offering here. I have this higher up, definitely with more power in this business, in this organization, and they've offered me the opportunity to overextend myself, right? And this could be a great thing, right? This could be them saying, if you overextend yourself at this point, we're really going to look highly on you, Nina. Now, I didn't feel that way, and I did not want that person at the center of my world. I was staring at an offering, and I thought, what is the best thing that I can do in this moment? Because I have been misaligned at this job. I have not been in alignment here. Things have been off for a while, and things continue to be off. Am I willing to continue to invest in putting myself at the center in this space if it is going to continue to ripple and resonate back to me as off? And so here is what I did. Picture it. I'm standing there on the wooden landing, looking up at my superior, and my superior says, well, Nina, I really want you to do that job. That's my expectation. That's what I'm asking. And I look back at them and I say, okay, I hear you. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to lead that group. And I am going to lead it to the best of my ability, even with everything else I have on my plate. It's going to be a stellar group. That's what I offer my clients here, and that's how it's going to continue. But I am also putting in my 1 month's notice right now. That is what I am doing. Period. And while that person was surprised, it is not what they expected. They looked back at me and they said, "Okay then. Thank you for letting me know." And I said, "Thank you." And I went about my business. And when I tell you that I did not blow up on them in that moment because I utilized the principle of alignment, when I tell you that I did not internally blow up at myself because I stood my ground and I owned my truth, I wasn't happy. I did not want to overextend myself. I wanted to be the best that I could. And when we overextend ourselves, it usually does not lead to us feeling or doing the best that we can. And so in standing my ground and owning my truth and putting myself at the center of that world, I resonated and rippled out in a way that resonated back to me and said, Nina, this is your truth. You were not happy here and you are no longer out of alignment. You're back. Congratulations. I know some of you may be like, what? Nina, you just lost your job, right? And in fact, she could have said, well, today could be your last day, right? The end of the week could be your last week, right? I was owning my truth. I was stellar at the groups I did there, right? I lived my truth when I was there. It was not the proper environment for anymore, right? It wasn't the proper environment for me anymore. It had been at one time, it wasn't anymore. And I wasn't willing to continue to invest time in that story, right? When it was not aligning. So I put in that notice. And what did this end up freeing me to do, my friends? Within that month, I got Houston Creative Arts Therapy started, submitted my paperwork to the state, started my own business, and that next month started working for myself, living my truth. I started helping people with drama therapy. I started helping people recognize in Houston what was happening with drama therapy and how it could be such an incredible support to helping people to further own their truth and live their best life. And I have rippled out and resonated ever since. If you too can embrace the principle of alignment in your life, I can only imagine what incredible things can begin to happen for you. Just the same way I see it for myself and for my clients, the incredible things that can happen when you start putting yourself at the center of your world, letting that ripple out so that it can resonate back to you. It is such a fulfilling feeling. We're nearing the end of the episode. And of course, I'm wondering, what are you taking away? Okay. We've talked about the principle of alignment. I shared a personal story. I am hoping that you thought of your own moments where you're saying, dang, where have I been off, quote unquote? Where have I felt like things are not lining up for me? If you can right now in this moment think about, this is a part of my life that's not lining up, or this is a part of my life that is off, right? This is something to lean in on. Of course, I am inviting you to play with hard things, right? This may be deceptively easy to some of you. It is not. This is a hard thing. I'm asking you to challenge yourself, to lean in and put yourself at the center. So I want you to ask yourself, am I the person who really needs to embrace the principle of alignment in my own life so I can stop thinking that this is something that happens to me and start controlling what I can control, right? Am I that person who needs to start embracing the principle of alignment? Or am I the person who's really intuitive, really self-attuned, and needs to share this with someone who I keep trying to get to attune and it's not clicking for them, right? The way that I see the world is not clicking for them. Can they use the tool, the principle of alignment, right? Can they embrace this? And am I the person who needs to share this episode with someone else who can use it to further align their life? Yeah? Ultimately asking ourselves, how can I use the alignment principle, the principle of alignment, right? And empowering alignment to benefit myself and others. Get curious. There is so much more to the principle of alignment. We have barely touched the surface of it here, but awareness is the first tool to change, y'all. You have to know that something is off in your life if you want to make a shift. So in the upcoming episode, we're going to be playing with the alignment challenge because that challenge will be up, my friends, and I am ready and willing to play with it so long as you are. Yeah. Thank you so much for being you. Stay curious.
It's me again, reminding you that this was a throwback episode. I hope that you were able to take something from it, even one little nugget of wisdom, and use that between this week and next week, right? The purpose of these episodes is to give you tools. It is up to you to decide whether you want to become skilled in them. You picking up what I'm putting down? So take a tool, take something, a perspective, a moment, something that works for you, and use it in your life to transform hard conversations into teachable moments, to transform the way that you play with scary moments, right? To transform your life, to help make you the most courageous, most healing-oriented, most belonging person, right? No matter where you go, that you belong to yourself everywhere you go, right? Courage, healing, belonging, whatever it is that you are taking from this episode, take it with you so that you can get out there and live your most vibrant life, you beautiful human being, okay? All right, I'm signing off for now, but I'm gonna see you soon, okay? I'm gonna see you real soon. Bye for now. Thank you so much for being willing to explore healing your humanity on Empowered Human. I hope you found at least one new way to transform your worldview from powered to empowered. If you took something from the show, please take a moment of your time and subscribe to Empowered Human. And if it really nourished you, leave us a review. Your feedback helps me understand what our community needs. Not to mention, it helps others discover the empowered human life. So keep this last bit in mind. All the visual goodies come with me on Instagram at Drama Therapist Nina. Stay up to date there on upcoming episodes, behind the scenes goodness, and reels dropping knowledge. Thank you again for being part of the empowered human community. Until next time, stay curious.